I am hopefully fixing one of the most annoying little problems that I've had for almost a year. And it's driven me crazy, but I'm hopefully fixing that today. A quick backstory. I have gone back and forth with this backpack camera strap system from Peak Design. I bought the V1 like way back in the day, had a couple of V2s of this thing, and I think I have 4 or 5 of these V3 clips from Peak Design. But my main problem with them is not in how they work, even though there's a few things that can be improved. My main issue with the Peak Design strap system is that in order to use it, you have to use Peak Design's plate. Like their little plate system for the bottom of your camera is the only one that'll go in there, which wasn't a big deal until I discovered the very best travel tripod that there's ever been. And I made a whole video about how it's significantly better than the Peak Design tripod and much cheaper. This guy's $329, $600. So better in every way and almost half the price. Now they do make just like a regular Arca Swiss version of this tripod. That was the first one that I discovered. But if you're really ready to like take your gear game to the next level,
you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
They have something called an F38 head for this, a quick release system that's not just a tripod, but all sorts of other products that are quick release. And once I tried it, I was hooked. I have a quick release plate on here from them. I can take my camera, lock it in place, push the button, get my camera out. Lock it in place and get it out that quickly. Again, half the price of this guy, better, and quick release. It's so good. I got 2 of them. 2 quick release tripods like that. I took my like vlogging rig. I put one of their quick release bits on there so I can take it off here. I can lock my camera into there. Very locked in and secure. It's even got like a locking dial that you can lock in. Now you can't even push the button, get it out. I also have their camera strap that I use. So their camera system, this is the V1 version, there's a V2 version, but I can take my camera, lock it into this plate, and now my camera is on a strap. So I have my camera around my shoulder, walking around like that. If I want to take it off to do like a low angle shot, a high angle shot, it is that quick to take my camera off the camera strap. So one plate that can go to all of these different things, and again, quick release. And because I got super deep into this whole F38 system, even my main camera has the F38 cage on it that also has F22 rails. I made videos on all this stuff. Click up here or go down to the description. I'll put links to all those videos because once you get into this quick release world, man, it's a little addicting. I made a whole video about why I was switching from the Peak Design clip to this clip, and it was just because I got so deep into the system. And this clip is a good clip, but these like pointy bits, just how it's shaped, the design wasn't perfect. And enough so that when it was mounted there, like my arm and how I don't know, grab things and reach for things would kind of rub on those little things. It wasn't ideal for me. I switched back to the Peak Design clip because they have this little plate right here, which can do F38 one way and Peak Design the other way. Like Falcam was specifically making this for people like me that were like, hey, I want to use the F38 system, but the Peak Design plate, see if it goes in this way, locks in place. I pop it out, and then if it goes in the other way like this, it can lock into all my F38 gear. But that has meant that I was limited to only using these plates and my main cage camera that has like one of these built in, like it's just part of the cage. Doesn't work with this clip. So I can't take that camera and put it in here. I can only put them on all this stuff. And then my main camera that has this Peak Design plate on it has to go in sideways into all my F38 stuff. That was until 2 weeks ago when Falcam sent me this, their V2 backpack clip. And not only does it like significantly improve on the design of their V1 backpack clip, but now it actually beats the Peak Design in almost every way. Before I tell you everything about this V2 plate, let me first thank the sponsor of today's video, Auraframes. If you're watching this video, chances are you're pretty good at taking photographs, and if you're anything like me, that just means you end up with tons of amazing photos of your life on your phone and on your computer, and not in your life. And that's where Auraframes comes in. Through their super simple app and their Wi-Fi enabled digital photo frame, you can upload unlimited photos through the app, and they will show up on the picture frame in your living room. We have 2 of their frames. We have one like right as you walk in the door, and then one underneath our TV in our living room, and they just sit there and cycle images all day long. Like all these incredible moments from our life that like I could never have enough wall space for. I throw them in the app and I just get to see them all day. Every time I look over, it's a different image and I go, aw, I love that picture. But the best part is when you gift an Aura frame. I gave one to my parents. They live in Tucson, Arizona. I live in San Diego, California. But I have access to their Aura frame through my app. So I can add images to my app, but I can also add images to their app. So shooting just photos through my daily life, I can then throw them in the app, throw them to my parents' picture frame, and while they're just sitting there in their living room, my family photos pop up. They love it, and if you too want to give that experience to your parents or a friend, shoot it the first thing in the description, go over to auraframes.com and use code DAVIDMANNING for $30 off a Carver Mat frame. You're gonna be a hero at Christmas. I guarantee it. Okay, let's talk more about this backpack clip and why I'm probably gonna buy a few of these. Simpler, lighter, more secure, easier to flip from backpack to backpack, and cheaper. Today's video sounds a lot like my tripod video where I say the Peak Design tripod is overpriced and this one is better in every way and half the price. This video is gonna make Peak Design fans very mad. Now listen, I'm a Peak Design fan myself. I've got their bags on my wall. I got a bunch of these clips. I love Peak Design products, but when a product comes along that's better, like you gotta call it as it is. And this thing's better. Okay, let's break down why I think this clip is better than the Peak Design clip. One, it's lighter. It's not super light compared to, it's 70 grams versus 74 grams. So both light clips, hang on, let me get these thumb screws off of here. This is probably one part is the mounting. Like let's talk about how the Peak Design mounts, which is very similar to how the V1 mounted on this. It's using like bolts going through that's squeezing 2 plates against each other, which means that you really have to like squeeze the crap out of these and get that tight. Just by tightening the thumb screws, like that won't give you enough tightness. You then have to like squeeze these 2 plates together, like compress the cushion in your backpack shoulder strap, get those like super cranked down, and then it'll be tight enough so that when you put your camera on there, it doesn't move on the strap at all. And I've actually always used a wrench for that. Let me, I've got these like Knips pliers that they're smooth, so like they don't scratch the thing. Thumb screw it nice and tight, but then once it was tight, like that right there, just my thumb tightness, like that's not good enough for carrying your camera weight. So you really wanna like squeeze those 2 plates. I would use these wrenches. I would give it like a little extra, and then I could screw that 2 more screws on each side. And now that thing is locked in place. This is unnecessary. Like this was definitely going a little far, but you could just like, and then crank on it. So bolt system, like bolting 2 plates together. But check out how this little guy works. So I push this button here, it releases this lever, and then there's a strappy bit inside with different levels of tightness. And the idea is I only put this very thin piece behind the actual strap. I lay that on top, and then based on how thick your backpack is, you just kind of get to the piece that's the tightest you can go. Now that's pretty tight, but then when you close this lever, it's like doubling it's using lever strength to then tighten it even further. So there's no like cranking your thumb. I just go like this, watch, boom, locked in place. And it's like crazy strong. Like you couldn't slide that up or down this strap if you tried with all your strength. And then the best part is when I'm ready to take it off, like I want to switch backpacks, instead of having to buy clips for all my different backpacks, I can just move this one because pressing this button in undoes that latch, I undo that bit, and I take it off. It's that quick and easy to put on and take off. That was a problem that I had with the Peak Design one and the V1 was I ended up purchasing multiple of each of these for my different backpacks because switching them from backpack to backpack, like it wasn't like oh, I want to use a different bag today. I'll just switch my strap real quick. It was like, I gotta switch my strap. And again with this thing, locked in place. And with this version, I'm not worried about like those prongy bits, because this is even smoother than the Peak design. Like there's nothing over there because it's using a latch system, not 2 bolts. And then even better from that is the locking system is a better lock. With the Peak design one and with this one, they both use like a push button, but then to lock it, you gotta like grab and twist, like pull it out, twist it, and now you can't push that button, and then you gotta like get your finger. So if you're on here like this and your camera's on there, getting your fingers into the Peak design one to lock and unlock it, it's just too difficult. So I legit never locked my camera while it was on the strap. I just trusted like the main latch that like, that'll probably hold. But with the Falcam V2, it's just a slide up and down. So this little bit goes down, now you can't push the button, you click it up, and now you can push the button. So when you've got a bit in there, locked in place, can't come out, push the button, it pops right out. Put it back in, throw it to lock, now you can't push the button, and it can't come out. This means I can finally say goodbye to Peak design. All of my things will be F38, and they will be able to slide into the backpack clip. With this new Falcam piece locked on there, I can now go into my tripods whichever direction. I can go backwards, I can go sideways, I can go whichever way I want on all of those. And now, oops, get that out of there. Now I can go to this one. I am thrilled on this new the V2 backpack clip from Falcam. I'm thrilled on, like, getting into the button is so much easier. It's just a really smooth system, and again, locking it in place. Like, you should lock it in place. Like, even on this guy, you should lock it in place, but it's difficult with this. Like, locking it's kind of a pain in the butt when you have your camera on there, which is odd. Like, it's odd that they made it that way to where like the button is below your cam. It's hard to get your fingers in there. And with this one, I just kind of slide it, push the button, pops right off. So just like my tripod review of the Peak Design tripod versus the Falcam Ulanzi tripod, this system is better than this system. It's lighter than this system. It's more sleek than this system, and it's cheaper. This I think is only 75 bucks now. It used to be 100 bucks, but this system right here is $60 for this plate. So 60 bucks, and I can move this from bag to bag. I don't have to buy a bunch of them. And this piece for $75, which again, like you could definitely move it bag to bag. I'm sure lots of people do, but I ended up buying 4 of them so that I could have them on all my bags because I wanted to like lock them down super tight. And to do that, I used this. And now one plate to rule them all. Into my F38 clip, pop it out of there into my tripod, boom, out of there into my camera strap system, boom, out of there into my vloggy tripod. All quick release. I love I love magnets and quick release things. And this quick release system is my whole system. This thing has like finished, it's like the last piece in the puzzle so that I can have everything in my whole world quick release. And yeah, it just makes me happy as heck. I hope that this helped you guys. I hope that if you guys are out there looking for a backpack strap, you know, like, hey, save some money, go with this one. And just the whole F38 system, man. Like if you're not in it, you haven't tried it, I promise you, if you try it, you will be stoked. So many people have tried it now and they hit me up and they're like, dude, I got everything F38 and now I'm into F22. I started buying all the F22 stuff and yeah, quick release. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Any questions you have about this backpack clip, I'll link it below. But I'm stoked because now my main cage camera can go in here too and all my things will be F38. Oh, this also means that I can upgrade to the new strap style because my clip isn't going in sideways. That's actually super slick. I think I'm gonna get the new strappy bit for this too. Okay, comments, questions down below. I'll see you soon. That's so smooth and easy. Locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked. But I made a whole video about why I was switching from, where'd it go? Oh, on here.